Hi my lovely dears, welcome to this new Italian tutorial. This tutorial will be about another tense that we use for the verbs in Italian. So in the past tutorials we have seen 7 tenses from the modo indicativo. And so this tutorial is about the only one that is left from the modo indicativo. So Italian has actually not only tenses but also what we call modi. Yeah, it's ways, manners, but it tells how the action is real. So if it's real happening and sure, or if it's more your opinion, your wish, your desire. And so, but I will make another tutorial about the modi in Italian. So this tutorial, as I said, is about the only tense from the modo indicativo that is left to see in the tutorials, and so is a tense that we call trapassato remoto. So is actually one of what we call tempi composti. So those tenses where you have to use also essere and avere plus the past participle. And so in this case you have to use the passato remoto of essere or avere plus the past participle of the verb that you are conjugating. And I made a tutorial about the passato remoto, and I will link it in the description below. But in that tutorial there's nothing about the passato remoto, specifically essere or avere. So we're going to see it here. So we're going to see how you make the trapassato remoto, and so the passato remoto of essere or avere plus the past participle, and then we're going also to see how you use it. And so first of all, the passato remoto of essere, so it is io fui, so I was, tu fosti, so you were, egli or ella fu, so he or she was, noi fummo, so we were, voi foste, so you plural were, and essi furono, so they were. Now the passato remoto of avere goes like this. Io ebbi, so I had, tu avesti, you had, egli or ella ebbe, so he or she had, noi avemmo, so we had, voi aveste, so you plural had, and essi ebbero, so they had. So again, what you do, you use what I just showed, so the past, the past of the past simple of essere or avere, and plus the past participle of the verb that you are conjugating. So for example, if you want to use the trapassato remoto of vedere, you say io ebbi visto, and so I had seen. Tu avesti visto, so you had seen. Egli or ella ebbe visto, so he or she had seen. Noi avemmo visto, so we had seen. Voi aveste visto, so you plural had seen. And then essi or esse ebbero visto, so they had seen. Now, so this is an example of a verb that uses avere. Going to a verb that with which you have to use essere, we can see andare, so to go, and it goes io fui andato o andata, so I had gone. Tu fosti andato o andata, so you had gone. Egli o ella fu andato o andata, so he or she had gone. Noi fummo andati o andate, so we had gone. Voi foste andati or andate, so you plural had gone. And then essi or esse furono andati or andate, so they had gone. So that's how you make it. How you make the trapassato prossimo. Now let's see that the rules for when you have to use essere or when you have to use avere is exactly the same. It's with all these kind of tenses. The rules are always the same. So to make things easier, think about the passato prossimo, so because it was also the first of this kind of tense that you learned. So if in the passato prossimo you use avere, then you have always to use avere. So also in this case in the trapassato remoto. So for example, in the passato prossimo I say io ho visto, so I use avere. And so also in this case, for the trapassato remoto I used avere, so I say ebbi visto. Or for andare, the passato prossimo is with essere, so io sono andato or andata. And so to make the trapassato remoto, I use essere, so I say io fui andato o andata. So this is the first thing. So either you use always essere, either you use always avere. There's no change. And again, think about the passato prossimo that can help you. So what do you use there? That's what you always use. And then the other rule is when you have to conjugate the past participle. As you may have noticed, when I said visto, you say ebbi visto. I don't say ebbi vista. Ma when I said io fui andato, then I can also say io fui andata. So again, if you use avere, then you don't conjugate the past participle. But when you use essere, then you have to do it. Or you have also to conjugate the past participle when you have avere, but also plus the pronome diretto or the combinato or ne. And so, again, avere, you don't conjugate the past participle. Essere, you conjugate it. And, or when you have the pronome diretto or the combinato, when you have ne, then you also conjugate the past participle. So you make the feminine, you make the plural. But actually also this rule is always the same for all these kind of tenses. So for all the kind of tenses that are like the passato prossimo, so for all the tempi composti, as we say in Italian, so the rule is also, this rule is always the same. Actually, the rules are all the same. Another rule is also about, so when you have a pronoun, the position of the pronoun, and then it goes all the way at the beginning. So before your auxiliary verb. So it goes before essere or avere. So if I want to say I had seen it, then I have to say l'ebbi visto. Or if I'm talking about something female, l'ebbi vista. Because as I said, when you have a pronoun, then when you have a diretto, which is the one I'm using in this case, then you have to conjugate it, to conjugate the past participle. And so I also made a video about the pronouns, and also will link them in the description below, so you can refresh your memory or get more information about the pronouns from there. And so actually, even in this case, also this rule about the pronouns is you find it in all the tempi composti. So if you find it in the passato prossimo, you find in all those kinds of tenses. And so the last thing, when you have a modale, so verbs like potere, dovere, volere, yeah, must, have to, or can, or may, or so these kind of verbs. What happens is that you actually make the passato remoto of the auxiliary verb as usual. Then the past participle is not the past participle of the main verb, but of the modale. So you make the past participle volere, potere, and so on. And then the main verb goes in the infinitive. So for example, if you want to say I could have seen. So you say io ebbi potuto vedere. And also be careful in these cases about the auxiliary verb, because to know which auxiliary verb you have to use, so avere or essere, you don't have to look at the modale, so potere, dovere, volere, and so on. You have to look at the verb that is in the infinitive. So if with that verb you usually you have to use avere, then you have to use avere. So, but if with the verb in infinitive you have to use essere, then you use essere. So, for example, I said ebbi potuto vedere, because with vedere you have to use avere. But if I'm using andare, then it becomes io fui potuta andare. So you have to look at the verb that is in the infinitive. And a very, very last thing is when you have a modale, but also you have a pronoun, what happens? That as always, you have two possibilities. So, or the pronoun goes all the way at the beginning, or it goes attached to the infinitive. So, for example, if I want to say I could have seen it, then it becomes io l'ebbi potuto vedere, or io ebbi potuto vederlo. Or if I'm using the feminine, l'ebbi potuta vedere. Actually, also these last two rules with the verbi modali, those are always the same with this kind of tenses. So it's the same rules that you have also with the passato prossimo. And so if you find them there, then you will always find them whenever you have a tempo composto. You find them also, all these rules that I've just explained, all those rules that I explained in the tutorial so far, you always find them with this kind of tenses, so the tempi composti. So you find them with the passato prossimo, the trapassato prossimo, the trapassato remoto, so what we are seeing in this tutorial, and also the futuro anteriore. And so I made tutorials about all of them, so I will link them in the description below. But now, what we have seen so far is how you make the trapassato remoto, but how you use it. You actually use it combined with the passato remoto. In other words, usually, in most cases, you don't use the trapassato remoto on its own. You use it in and not in the main sentence, but in a subordinate sentence. So usually you have a main sentence with the passato remoto and a subordinate sentence with the trapassato remoto, and it's used to express something that happened before the passato remoto. So you have the passato remoto, and then if you have something that happened before, what you have to use is the trapassato remoto in the subordinate sentence. So for example, I say, dopo che fui ritornata dalle vacanze, andai a casa della mia amica. So when I came back from my holidays, I went to my friend's house. So as you can see, allora, first I come back from the holidays, and then I go to my friend's house. So coming back from the holidays is happening before, and so I had to use the trapassato remoto. But then going to my friend's house, that comes after, and so that goes in the passato remoto. Or another way in which you can see it, going to my friend's house is something that is happening in the past. For example, last year or years ago, I don't know. But then, before going to my friend's house, I had come back from the holidays. So that happened before. And so for that I had to use the trapassato remoto. Now, and another thing that you can see when I translated the sentence, sometimes you can use the past perfect. So sometimes the trapassato remoto is similar. You can translate it with the past perfect, but it's not always the case. As you have seen also in the translation, I didn't use the past perfect. And as I always say, be careful, don't automatically translate one tense from the Italian in the tense in English, in another tense in English, because it doesn't always work. You have to think directly in Italian. And in Italian, the way we think to use the tenses is the sequence. So think about how one action follows the other. So what is the order? And that tells you what tense you have to use. So as always, don't automatically translate one tense into another. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumb up, and please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. And as always, feel free to post any comment, any question that you have, or if you want to request for any topic in particular you would like to hear about. And so that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and see you next tutorial. Ciao ciao!